Oak Island, the same place where people have been digging for the past 200 years, pinning their hopes on the treasure. And each time, the truth slips away at the last moment. And amidst this entire story, there's one name that has always remained the most silent. Rick Lagina. Rick usually speaks little. He hints, drops clues, but the exact location of the treasure? He never speaks clearly about that. But this time, something is different. This season, Rick's demeanor seems to have changed. There's no excitement on his face, but rather a deep seriousness. There's a moment when he says directly, "We know where it is." This line isn't spoken lightly. It's backed by solid data, borehole reports, wooden structures found underground, and other unusual underground signals. Experts believe such a signal couldn't have formed on its own. According to reports, the structure identified is more than 90 feet below, and its size? So large that it can't be described as just a small cache. If this is a vault, it's estimated to be worth around $500 million. There are indications that gold, ancient artifacts, and historical items are all stored in one place. This isn't just speculation, but data matching various tests. But the most frightening thing is that Rick himself seems a little hesitant. Why? Because if this place is opened, not only will treasure be revealed, history could change. And perhaps that's why there have been delays, permit issues, and unexpected obstacles over the years. Is all this really a coincidence? In this video, we'll discuss Rick's hidden hints, understand the lines that people often overlook, and look at the exact spot where Oak Island's most valuable secret may lie. And remember, those who don't subscribe now will miss the moment when the truth about the $500 million will finally surface. Because when it's opened, not just the treasure, but everything will change. Rick Lagina's silence, the biggest signal. Rick Lagina has always been a man of few words. Throughout the search for Oak Island, he never made many claims or made grand pronouncements. While others seem to speculate excitedly, Rick remains largely silent. This is why his silence doesn't seem ordinary, but rather a profound signal. This season, Rick's demeanor appears more serious than ever. His face doesn't reflect the same excitement as before, but rather a reflection and pressure. He speaks more slowly and often interrupts. It seems as if he knows the truth is very close, but wants to weigh every aspect before speaking. Rick's silence is also significant because he isn't one to make decisions based on emotion. He always relies on data, evidence, and ground realities. When such a person repeatedly remains silent, it means they have a lot to say, but are waiting for the right moment. This season, their silence feels like a warning. Even in front of the camera, Rick's body language is distinct. His eye movements, deep breaths, and sudden silences, these may seem like small things. But in a place like Oak Island, these small things become the biggest signals. His silence indicates that the search is no longer a joke, but has reached a crucial turning point. This season's biggest turning point. There's a moment this season that changes the course of the entire story. It's not a loud scene, nor is there any grand announcement. It's just a quiet moment, where Rick's tone suddenly changes. At that very moment, the audience realizes that things are no longer the same. In that scene, Rick doesn't directly name the location of the treasure, but his words are carefully chosen. He avoids words like maybe or could be. His words reflect a confidence that was rarely seen before. This shift makes this moment distinct from the ordinary. This turning point is also significant because Rick has never before offered such close hints. When asked about the location, he would often avoid the topic, but this time he indirectly makes it clear that the team now knows where to focus. This gesture is shocking to the audience. After this moment, the entire team's demeanor changes. Plans are made more carefully, and every step is double-checked. Discussions become serious, and risks are not taken lightly. This proves that this moment was not just a conversation, but a crucial turning point in the search for Oak Island. We know where it is. One line, 1,000 meanings. This single line from Rick Lagina becomes the most striking in the entire Oak Island story. He didn't directly name the treasure or reveal its location, but simply saying it was enough. For the first time in years, he spoke with confidence instead of uncertainty. That's why this line doesn't seem ordinary. Until now, Rick had always avoided such statements. Previously, he would say that everything was still at the exploration stage, or that it would be premature to say anything definitive. But this time, his tone was different. There was a pause in his words, and a seriousness on his face. It seemed as if he wasn't hiding anything, but rather signaling the right time. This line is also significant because it didn't come suddenly. It was the result of months of data, testing, and discussion. Rick isn't the kind of person to make such a bold claim without solid evidence. When he says he knows, it means the team has established a clear direction by combining numerous clues. The question also arises as to why this line wasn't spoken earlier. The answer is likely that information was incomplete. Every false claim on Oak Island could harm the entire search. Rick never wanted to take this risk. Only now, perhaps, has the evidence become strong enough to dare to say it. This single line had an impact not only on the audience, but also on the entire team. After this, the atmosphere of the meetings changed. The conversation became less joking and more serious. It felt as if the team was now moving forward with a goal, not speculation. Rick's statement may also have another hidden meaning. Perhaps he was also indicating that the search had now narrowed to a limited area. If attention is focused on one spot, in a vast area like Oak Island, it means the search has reached the right direction. This makes this line even more weighty. Borehole data that cannot be ignored. Borehole data has always been crucial in the Oak Island search. The results of recent drilling have rekindled many old questions. The repeated discovery of wooden structures underground is not uncommon. Nature doesn't create such precise structures on its own. The most surprising thing about these drilling results is the order of the wooden layers. The discovery of similar wood at different depths suggests that someone deliberately arranged this structure. Experts believe this could not be the result of mere soil or rock movement. Furthermore, the patterns that have emerged also raise questions. The similarity of the features at certain distances suggests that this structure may have been built as part of a plan. If this were natural, such regularity would not be possible. This is why scientists consider it unusual. These wooden structures may have been buried over time, but they still exist. This means they were constructed with great strength. In ancient times, so much effort and resources were not invested without a significant purpose. This thought itself is exciting. Borehole data also shows that this structure isn't limited to just one or two locations. Similar signals in different locations prove that this isn't a small crater, but rather a larger system. This is forcing experts to think more deeply. That's why this data is no longer possible to ignore. Previously, people considered it a coincidence, but now they see it as a clear signal. This data indicates that something was deliberately hidden beneath Oak Island, and perhaps this is why the search has now reached its most crucial stage. What lies beneath 90 feet? If there's one depth that keeps cropping up throughout the Oak Island exploration, it's approximately 90 feet. This isn't an ordinary number. All the major discoveries made in the last 200 years have been linked to this level. This is why experts consider this depth extremely important. Old documents and early excavations also mention that real clues only appear beyond a certain depth. The soil and rocks above may be merely deflectors. The real story begins below, where clear signs of human intervention are found. The 90-foot depth is also significant because the natural layers change abruptly here. Normally, the order of soil and rock remains consistent, but at this level, something different appears. Wood, voids, and unusual structures indicate that something was built here. Many experts believe this could be the level where the real money pit is located. Early explorers also reported finding strange objects at this depth. If this is true, then the current discovery has come very close to fulfilling that historic claim. Working at this depth is not easy. Pressure, water leaks, and the risk of collapse are ever present. This is why the team is taking every step with extreme caution. A small mistake could destroy years of hard work. The clues found 90 feet below clearly indicate that this was no ordinary excavation. Hiding something at such depth requires considerable planning, time, and resources. This further deepens the question of what is hidden there that was so painstakingly concealed. Why is the underground structure so surprising? Until now, many people believed that Oak Island would contain only a box of coins or small treasures. But the clues emerging completely change this thinking. The structure visible underground is not the size of a small treasure chest. If it were just a pile of coins, there would have been no need to create such a large space. Coins or jewelry could easily be hidden in a small room or chest. However, the structure that is revealed here appears to be very large and complex. This is where it becomes important to understand the difference between a storehouse and a crypt. A storehouse is usually confined to a limited space, while a crypt is built for a larger purpose. It is not just a place to store things, but a complete system for their safekeeping. The size of this structure suggests that it may contain more than just gold, but also many other items, old documents, religious objects, or items considered extremely valuable at the time. Such a large space would not have been created without reason. Furthermore, the strength of the structure also raises questions. The way the wood and other materials were used suggests that it was built to last. This was not a temporary arrangement, but a well-thought-out design. This is why experts are now dismissing it as a mere treasure. It could be a large vault, hidden underground for a specific purpose. And if this is true, the story of Oak Island could be very close to becoming the greatest discovery ever. The $500 million figure. The reasoning behind it. When the Oak Island treasure is reported to be worth $500 million, many people assume it's just a guess. But this figure isn't drawn from thin air. It involves years of research, clues, and historical comparisons. Experts arrived at this figure by combining various possibilities. First, regarding gold, treasures buried in ancient times are considered much purer than today's standards. If a large amount of gold is found underground, its current value increases rapidly. Even a small amount can be worth millions of dollars in today's market. Furthermore, the treasure likely contains more than just gold. It could also include ancient artifacts, religious objects, and rare metals. The value of such items is determined more by their history than their weight. Sometimes, even a small item proves to be priceless. Writings or documents are truly discovered underground. Their value cannot be measured in monetary terms. Such documents can fetch millions of dollars at auction because they bear witness to history. Another factor in the value of historical objects is their rarity. Items that are not found anywhere else in the world, that European explorers arrived here much earlier than official records. If Oak Island provides clues, the dates of discovery will have to be rewritten. This will become a matter not just about one place, but about the history of the entire world. Questions also arise about the role of secret societies. If it is proven that they deliberately built such a massive structure, their power and reach will have to be re-understood. That this discovery tells a story that predates the history of America. If evidence of ancient civilizations is found, it will shatter the myth that this area was once uninhabited. This discovery will open up new debates and research. If such evidence is uncovered, history textbooks are bound to change. The information taught in schools and universities will be re-examined for truth. Rick Lagina's hesitation. What's the fear? Rick Lagina's slow progress this season has surprised many. Even when the signs appear so strong, he doesn't rush. He pauses before every decision, thinks, and sometimes even postpones discussions. This behavior suggests that he's not just concerned about the impact will be enormous. He knows that some truths, once revealed, cannot be stopped. Perhaps this is why he wants to proceed slowly and cautiously. Rick's hesitation is understandable because he doesn't consider this discovery just a project. It's his life's dream. As a dream comes closer to becoming a reality, fear automatically increases. He fears that he might lose everything in haste. On several occasions, Rick's eyes reveal a dilemma. On one hand, the desire to move forward. On the other, the burden of responsibility. He knows that once the underground structure is exposed, there will be no way back. This thought, hopefully preventing it, may not be accurate, but there are some things that are difficult to ignore. There have been times in history when strange obstacles have been encountered before major truths have been revealed. Sudden rule changes, complicated procedures, and delayed decisions. These can all be normal, and with extreme caution. It's also possible that people fear incomplete information leaking out. If something were to be revealed without proper preparation, it could lead to confusion and controversy. In such a situation, instead of preventing the truth, efforts are made to control it. This is why viewers should think for themselves. Is this all just a coincidence, or the natural anxiety that comes before a major truth is revealed? Be lost in seconds. This is why the team is re-examining each step. The fear of losing evidence is equally serious. Sometimes the most crucial part of a discovery is very fragile. If it breaks or shatters, its significance could be lost forever. This thought is keeping the team slow and cautious. The team faces a final decision. The search for Oak Island has reached a point where the team faces the most difficult decision. Proceed or stop here? This question is unavoidable. Each member knows that the next step could make history, but within that very step lies the greatest danger. This is why this truth is revealed to the whole world.